facing our fears, laughing through the chaos and drinking some beers. So here's to the laughs, the groans and the cheers, all the awkward moments, and we're still here. Cause in the end we're just doing our thing. It's our crazy life, oh, one more thing. Oh, one more thing. Oh!
Welcome to Oh and One More Thing, a podcast where two longtime friends try to figure out what the heck is going on with this crazy thing called middle age.
It's a mix of stories of how we navigate our lives and maybe some questionable advice.
Some days we're wise, other days we're just trying to remember where the heck we left our phone.
So join us as we laugh, groan, and maybe even learn a little something about surviving in the second half of life. Oh, and one more thing. Hey, I'm Rob. Welcome to Oh and One More Thing.
Hey, I'm Brian. Today is a very special day here at Oh and One More Thing. We've got our very first guest. Who is it?
It's our good buddy, Jeff Hoxie.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Jeff. What is going on?
Hey, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Thanks. We're super excited.
We are excited.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guest before.
I'm your first one.
You were the first one. Jeff, you'll always be my first one.
Always. So memorable, I'm sure.
So Jeff is our friend at coffee every Tuesday that hangs out with us.
Yes.
Yes.
And what do we know about coffee, Jeff? I think your wife and your kids call it something funny.
Well, they call it, are you going to Old Man Coffee?
Old Man
That's what they call
Coffee.
it. Old Man Coffee.
Yeah. My family call it dude dates.
Dude dates, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife tries to call it a coffee clutch. I'm not a
But
big fan
coffee
of that.
clutch is really old.
I know.
But I wouldn't
yes.
say it's a clutch,
Well,
right?
Right?
I mean,
Yeah, no.
Plays into my age group, not yours.
Yes, it
We're
does.
also not old either, so I don't think it really...
Well, you're young.
Well, yeah, you're young. But so I'm super excited because I usually start each episode off with a joke, and Jeff's here, and I can tell a sports joke because Brian...
I love sports.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Sports, yay. Was I not watching the Wild the other day?
Well, you did, but you didn't really have much of a choice because it was that.
It was on, and I...
Who was on last night?
The Wild?
No.
Not quite.
Not quite. Yeah, so the Timberwolves were on last night, and unfortunately, they got bounced from the Western Conference Finals.
Aww.
So,
Tier. Yeah.
here. So all four of the major men's sports teams got together afterwards and had a beer. And so it's the Twins and it's the Wolves and the Vikings and the Wild. And the Twins are like, guys, come on. I mean, it's been 30 plus years. Somebody else has to win a championship in this town. It's been forever. And the Vikings are like, okay, yeah, we get it, but we're trying. We've been at least been to 4 Super Bowls, and we've won some championships, some conference championships, over the years. And the Wolves are like, yeah, we've won been in 3 Western Conference championships, been in the last 2.
Yeah.
So that's been great. And the Wild kind of looked a little confused and said, wait, you guys get out of the first round?
Oh.
See, Jeff gets that joke.
Jeff
Brian.
gets that. I'm a little
Yeah,
behind.
they, how many years has it been? A long
It's
time.
been 30 plus. It's been.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
bad.
no.
Yeah, I know.
Us diehards over here.
Right.
Right. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, Jeff is the owner and general contractor of a company called Hoxie Homes, his company. And so we wanted to give you just a background a little bit here before we jump into interviewing this guy. Established in 2006 by Jeff, he is a premier custom home builder and remodeler. Jeff and his team focus on understanding each client's specific project requirements. Their dedication to high-quality craftsmanship and meticulous attention to detail builds trust and ensures an exceptional client experience. Hoxie Homes is committed to integrity, honesty, and superior quality in every project, reflecting their lasting legacy. Jeff, is that true?
Man.
I took it right from your
maybe?
website.
Yeah. You did?
I did.
No way. It says it on there? That's a lot of pressure.
Right?
It's a lot to live up to.
Every day? I don't think I can do that every day.
Come on now. People are listening.
I know. I would
hope.
say I'd like to try, but there's a lot of things that go on that I can't control.
But we're going to go on and say that you do.
I do.
Let's go
Yes.
with it. So what do you, as a consumer, and from your end, what do you look for in a contractor, good and bad?
What do I look for in a contractor?
Well, I mean, if I were, going to hire somebody such as yourself, we'll get into that later. What would you look for?
I think it starts with a good relationship, a communication style that you relate with and can,
Right.
exchange pros and cons and what you're looking for. honesty is a big one. Transparency is a big one, right? Because we're going to work together for anywhere from weeks to months to years, potentially, decides on the project. So,
Years.
yes, some projects take years.
Wow.
They can be challenging, but also
I would
rewarding.
imagine, yeah.
Yeah. So, honesty, good communication, I would say, is probably the number one thing, start to finish, for any project, any contractor.
Okay. So we thought that it could help our listeners and us to learn a little bit more about the world of construction. I don't know too much about it. Do you, Rob?
Well, I didn't until about 2 months ago. So I hired my good friend Jeff to help us put an addition and a porch on our house.
Why, yes, you did. Why, thank you.
Yeah. and
It's a lovely porch.
It is a beautiful porch.
It is a lovely porch.
Yeah. And it's funny, before we started this process, we actually had this conversation, and Jeff was saying about how the process works and how we kind of get your ideas and go back and forth. And I'm like, nah, we know exactly what we want. It'll be easy, piece of cake. And swear to God, we made about 15 changes before we even.
Oh, for sure. Everybody does. Like, you have this idea of what you want, right?
Yeah.
But then if you go on the internet or you go to these showrooms, you start looking. I mean, the options are endless.
Yeah.
And they don't always tell you what the price is. So then you have to figure out what it costs, and then does it fit your budget? And then you're reworking it 1, 2, 3, or 10 times.
Right. And it was good too, because you obviously have done this a lot longer and saw a lot of things we didn't even think of. That, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And that was a huge help to us to get some insight as far as kind of, I think you had a good idea where we wanted to go, and you helped us fine tune it.
Good. And that's our goal, right? Is we're trying to get you the best product, the best outcome that works for you. Now, everybody is different. What they want is different.
Yeah.
You're right. We've done this a long time. So you're trying to figure out along the way of where you want to end up, what your budget is, and lead you there.
Yeah.
But I miss things too, right? I mean, there, as you noticed, there is dozens upon dozens or hundreds of decisions to make.
Yeah. And even we just did a 3-season porch and a deck, and it was amazing how many people are involved in every day. I mean, there's one day I think we had 6 different contracting groups here trying to get things done. I think to me that's the biggest surprise almost, was how you manage that calendar and that schedule and coordinating all that. That, I mean, has to be a full-time job for someone.
100% full-time job for some one person. Yeah. When I started this many years ago, is people would do more than one task.
Right. Okay.
Right. You would maybe do framing, trimming, siding, roofing. One guy would do all of that. Well, in the last 20 years, it's become very specialized where you do one skill. You have a roofer, you have a drywall guy, you have a siding guy, trim carpenter, right? So as the general contractor, we're bringing all these people in, all these different companies, working with their employees to
I would
build
think that
a
gets
product.
a little boring to do the same task all the time, where you before
I
you
would
do
agree.
all these versions, all these different types of tasks, so your day was very interesting.
That's why I'm the general contractor, because I get to see all the different pieces.
Right, okay.
I could not be the guy who does one thing every single day.
Right.
There's no way.
So I just pound a nail in. That's all I do.
Pretty much.
One. I go to job site. I pound in one nail.
You do?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
What tool do you use to pound that nail?
Hammer.
Nice. You do know a couple things.
Well, the name of this episode is "Where's My Hammer?"
Yeah, you remember that story, don't you?
Yeah, but we don't have to tell that specific story. You can embellish if you need to.
Well, I don't want to embellish because it's pretty true.
We'll get to that in a minute.
So before we deep dive into the construction world, can we talk a little bit about the time you were on TV at one point in your life?
Yeah.
I did my research. I did some YouTube viewing, and it was originally we thought it was HGTV. It's not. It's Destination America / Discovery Channel.
Oh,
Yes.
see, I thought it was HGTV as well.
Yep. We did a little 6-little episode show called King of Thrones back in 2013, and weren't you one of the main contractors on that?
Yeah, I might have been.
You might have been?
I might have been one of those guys.
So I think King of Thrones is pretty obvious what you did on that show.
Yeah. There was a slogan. How did it go? Something about we're number one when it comes to number two.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that. I think I saw that play.
Yeah, there was a promotion. They actually mailed us, I think, a magnet, and on that magnet on my fridge said, I'm number one at number two or something like that.
That's awesome. Can I get a copy of that magnet?
It's around somewhere. I also got like a little King of Thrones toilet because this whole thing came about. Game of Thrones was a big deal then.
Yeah.
And they were trying
Okay.
to play off of that. That's why it was called King of Thrones.
Gotcha.
And how did they contact you to be the contractor on TV?
So they found us actually because I was working on a different TV show called Bath Crashers.
You've been on another TV show?
I used to watch Bath Crashers all the time with
You
Matt
did?
Munster.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was a contractor on there. So you didn't see us a whole lot. We were
Right.
more in the background.
Yeah.
and we managed it and made it happen. But yeah, Matt Minster did.
Minster, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's how I got my start. And then somehow somebody got my name through that, and we got interviewed. Someone flew out from New York to interview Dave and I.
So why aren't you on Rock the Block right now?
Because those are for the designers, the head people. I wasn't the head guy.
Yeah,
Not till King of Thrones did I get to be the head guy.
I want to see you back on TV. He's got the face for it.
Oh,
people.
definitely. Yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I only got one season, and then that was it.
Yeah. So who's your sidekick?
Did it get canned?
You're funny.
It did. My sidekick was Dave. And so
Okay.
Dave was an employee of mine
Okay.
at the time. And when they came out to interview us, funny enough, they interviewed Dave and I, my wife, all the contractors we worked with, some friends,
Okay.
trying to just gauge who they were going to have on the show. Because at that time, I think the producer was someone who also came from the TV show called Tanked.
Okay.
Didn't they make like fancy aquariums?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
I think so. They were trying to, again,
Right.
similar idea, but along the bathroom lines.
That's awesome.
Where did you film in the Twin Cities here?
We
or-
filmed in the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Yep. They found, houses to work at. I had nothing to do with that. We would just show up and
You just show up. Okay, so you had no like to pick the people and what they wanted to do and all that. You had nothing with any of that. Really.
They want to do things unique and different. So like
Okay.
we did an outhouse once. We did,
Oh, really?
yep. We did like a wood bathroom or like a cabin bathroom. We did.
That's the one that I
something-
downloaded.
Is it?
It's on my computer. I watch it every day.
Every day. Does it like put you to sleep at night?
It helps me sleep.
I did find you can purchase those still. They're $1.15 episode. So for $9, we could have your entire series.
No way.
I don't. I think it's
We'll
worth
play
it.
them back to back.
I want to see them because 2013, and a few years ago,
Yeah.
pretty sure I was a little bit heavier then.
You've lost some weight since then.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
I'm not surprised by that. I'd love to show my kids.
Oh
man.
yeah.
I can send you the clip I got.
Do that.
Yeah.
There's one with Dave and a body dryer. You haven't seen that one? It's
No.
worth.
No.
Okay.
All right, we'll check
Dave in a body dryer.
There's also a urinal. You can play video games as you urinate. We did that one in the shop. There's some great stuff from that.
So you either have to urinate a long time to play the game, or they're very short games.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but sometimes I have to urinate pretty long.
Right.
So we were thinking about doing a little question answer session here, and wherever it goes, it's fine by us. Okay with you?
Okay. I mean, yeah, you ask away.
Okay. But before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Spring Green Lawn Care.
Hey, this is Rob. I wanted to take a moment to talk about Spring Green. I've been using them since 2007. They provide fertilizer, weed control, lawn insect control, and core aeration services for my lawn. They also spray for mosquitoes, which is huge in Minnesota, and new later this year, liquid aerations and home pest control. They're a locally owned and operated company, super easy to get a hold of and work with. They'll give you the attention and service that you deserve. Visit their website at spring-green.com for a price quote specific to your property and to sign up for service. You can even register for autopay or prepay to save a little bit of cash right there on the website, or shoot them a message with any questions. That's spring-green.com, spring-green.com.
All right, Jeff, here we go. First question.
Let me hear it.
Are there really ever any bad ideas in your line of work?
Is that kind of like, is there a dumb question?
No questions are dumb.
No questions are dumb, but
I would argue that. Well, my wife taught me that there are some dumb questions.
that is true. That is true.
In our line of work, everything is really what the owner wants, right? I
Right.
will try to maybe give my opinion, but it comes down to the way you live in your home. So, bad idea? No.
Okay. Okay.
We can do anything you want.
Okay. Do you ever do some ideas that people insist on and you just think you're kind of a moron? But
All the time.
Oh, okay.
No, I shouldn't tell. Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah.
We will, again, from my standpoint, it's a functionality and a longevity and a maintenance thing, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to have problems with those three, I'm going to try to persuade you against it. But if you take that responsibility, you live there, you want to deal with it,
Right.
fine.
How about if it's structural?
It's different. Structural, no, we have to warranty that per state mandate for 10 years.
Okay.
And it's a little more severe. So no, if there's a question on structure, you involve an engineer. And then again, there's always a way to do it.
And then they're talked out of it.
They're talked out of it due to money,
Okay.
never because of anything else.
Right.
It always comes down to money.
Okay. So what's the worst kind of construction job for you?
one with low ceilings.
I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but Jeff's very tall.
No, there's no bad construction job. Again, to the point earlier of one task day in and day out, I don't like it, never have.
Right.
I love a variety.
Yeah.
So I would do anything and everything.
Gotcha.
I like the bigger ones. I mean,
Yeah.
they're more appealing.
Right.
They take longer. Sometimes the jobs that take 2 weeks are really hard.
Yeah.
Crunch timetable.
Sure.
As soon as one thing goes wrong, everything blows up.
Do you normally focus on larger, like full home builds and remodels as opposed to like what you did for us, just like an addition and a deck?
We have a good mix.
Good mix, okay.
Prior to the recession of 08-09, we did only new homes.
Okay.
And then since then, it's sort of been a good mix of everything.
Right.
Smaller jobs fill a void.
Yeah.
You know, when you're building a house, and some of these houses will take a year or two,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to just go somewhere for a month or two and do a job, get in, get out.
Right. Right.
Some of it is just people. Like, I like to work for good people.
Yeah. Where do you find all your contractors?
Contractors I've had for a long time, most of them. I mean, we have a core group we use. We don't really skew from that much. On occasion, people will recommend someone, we'll try them, or like, say, I do a job for Joe down the street, and he's like, hey, my buddy's a carpenter.
Okay.
Can we use him? We'll try him out.
Okay.
If it works really well, we might hire him again. But for the most part, we've had the same guys for many, many years.
Yeah. That makes it a lot easier then. If you guys you know, trust, and can rely on.
You can rely on them. You know how they work. You know how they operate. You know that, hey, this guy I have to call once a week to remind him to be here in July. This guy I don't have to remind at all. Like, you understand how each other works.
Right. Okay.
Which helps speed things along once you actually start construction.
Sure.
You ever found anything inside a wall?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Unexpected, I should say.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like what's the most outrageous thing you've found?
Nothing outrageous inside a wall. I mean, you find like old cigarette packages or beer cans.
From when the house was maybe constructed originally, that the
Yep.
contractor at the time would throw things in there?
Yeah. So like a lot of old lunch bags.
Okay.
Right? Because all contractors eat lunch out of their lunchbox. So you'll find old Pepsi cans
Right.
or whatever, right? Buried
Really?
in the walls. Oh, yeah.
No time capsules?
No time capsules. Never found one of those. We're actually doing a job right now. Rumor is there's one buried in the backyard. We haven't found it yet.
Ooh.
So maybe tomorrow when the excavator's back, we will find it.
That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
Didn't you tell me at coffee that you found a pool?
We did find a pool. You're right. A few weeks ago, we were doing a job in Wayzata looking to expand their basement, and then 2 feet outside the basement wall, the excavator was digging, and lo and behold, there was a pool. You're right. I did forget about that.
And they didn't know about it, right?
The homeowners had a night. There was new homeowners that purchased the house in the last 10 years, and they had heard rumors from neighbors that at one time that house had a pool.
Okay.
But everybody assumed it was just, ripped up, torn away, hauled away. Mm-hmm. Nobody realized it was just 2 feet away from filled in with sand and then covered with grass.
Wow.
So these lucky homeowners got to spend 10 grand to remove it.
Right. How did it not like cave in or whatever over the years? I mean, my gosh.
Well, they filled it with sand, so it couldn't.
That's true.
And it was all concrete. Like,
okay.
It was custom built, rebar, concrete lined. So,
and they just didn't want it and just buried it.
Wow.
Well, pools are a lot of work.
They're a ton of work.
Reminds me of another house in Edina. We tore a house down to build a new one. Well, when we tore the house down, we found what the owner, it was the one man owner, lived there for 50 some years. Turns out he'd walk out the back bedroom window and throw his garbage down the hill.
No.
Turns out he built up the hill over 50 years, and we found a giant pile of garbage.
Oh, wow. His own
like
personal little landfill.
His own little landfill. Yep.
That's awesome.
So what's the weirdest reason someone has called you for a job?
Can't think of anything that's been weird. I mean, add this, add that. It's all home. We do mainly residential work, a little bit of commercial. So I guess nothing sticks out that's strange.
Okay.
I mean, it's all, where do I live? Where do I cook? Where do I go to the bathroom? Number one and number two,
Nobody's asked you to build some weird shrine or secret room or something like that?
No shrines. We do secret rooms. Sure.
Really?
Tell us about the secret rooms.
They're not all that
We're not
exciting,
supposed to
though.
know.
Like, usually it's like, I'm going to hide my kids' stuff behind this door, and I'm going to make it look like a bookcase.
Oh, okay.
And you open it up and it's a kid's room.
It's a kid's room. Wah, wah. We did one. It was a guy's office. So you wouldn't know it's there.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is I don't know what he keeps in there after we're done.
Right.
How about a safe room with reinforced walls?
Yep. We've done safes. We had a guy who somehow acquired an old bank vault door.
Okay. That's awesome.
And so we turned it into his gun safe in the basement. It was like 10 by 10 room. And then we used that vault door for his entrance. It was all
That's
lined in
cool.
concrete. So he was worried about people. He had a big gun collection.
Right.
So that was protected.
That's definitely protected.
No panic rooms. Nothing crazy like that. I'm sure they're out there.
Right.
Maybe not here in Minnesota.
No.
Oh, I'm sure. You see some houses around here. There's some crazy stuff going on.
Do you have a collection of lost tools you're secretly hoarding?
I have a collection of lost tools. Sure. I wouldn't say I secretly hoarded them. I mean, if you want some, Brian, do you need some tools? I'll give you some tools.
I do need tools. I need a hammer. But I think you had told me you collect a lot of supplies, leftover supplies, and they all kind of hold up in your garage.
Well, supply is different than tools. Sure. I have a problem where I don't want to throw good things away. And a lot of stuff we do, so say like in my kitchen, I have a dishwasher that we took out of someone's home. It was 2 years old.
So new.
I would call it new enough
yeah.
where it works. So I
Yeah.
took it and put it in my house.
Right.
It was better than the one I had.
Right.
I have doors, light fixtures, trim. I just retiled my whole shower with leftover tile.
So you're saying when you get home from working all day on other job sites, you'd love to come home and fix your
I
house?
don't love it at all. This
How
has
is
been
that
a battle for
home
years.
remodel going for you?
It's never complete. I have stair balusters that have been missing for like 6 years.
And didn't you once have just a 5-gallon pail bucket in your kitchen, just covering up some wiring or something like that? Just stayed there for how many years?
There's a wire poking out of the floor. Probably a couple years. Didn't bother me any.
Bothered your wife.
My wife, maybe. My kids got used to it.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way, though. When I get home from work, the last thing I want to do is deal with my yard.
Oh, totally.
I
Like
get
I deal with it
Yeah.
all day,
All
every
day.
day. Like I don't want to think about it.
If you could have any superpower on a job site, what would that be?
Ooh, boy. To be invisible.
Invisible.
Yeah.
That's one of my faves. I want to be invisible.
Me too.
But
for many, many reasons.
let's explore some of those reasons.
No, I can just creep in on what actually is going on. Because they always say, right? I mean, Rob, is you're the boss. Like when the boss is around, things are different.
Things
than
are different,
when
for sure.
When you're not.
Okay.
Right.
I'd like to think more gets done when I'm there. But I actually wish it was the other way around. More got done when I wasn't there.
Right. So speaking of that, what is the most creative excuse you've ever heard for a project delay?
Boy, I've heard them all. My dog ate this. My wife did that. I was late to school. My car didn't start. You name it.
Yeah.
I got one today.
What was it?
I had to go get a tooth pulled.
And that's why we had to have a delay.
That's why there was a delay. This one guy had to get an emergency tooth pull. Like, what makes it an emergency?
Right.
Like, you fell and broke your tooth? Like, does that really happen?
Well, yeah,
I mean, it could, but
can with
Yeah.
big old gap in the front.
Right.
you get a lot of, oh, I'm sick. You get a lot of, somebody in my family died.
Yeah.
I don't believe them all.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, just in our experience, I mean, just for the past 2 months, we've had, somebody scheduled this day and then they got called to another site, or a couple guys couldn't come in for whatever reason, or it rained, or
oh, yeah. I mean, weather is one thing. Being a general contractor, right, you're hiring subcontractors.
Right.
Now, subcontractors work for probably anywhere from 12 to 24 contractors, right? So who screams the most that night or the next day might pull that subcontractor off your job to their job, right? Because you're all trying to hit a deadline.
right.
And that's
So-
all scheduling then. Then you have got to change your schedule because your contractor didn't show up for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a critical path to this. I mean, at points when you start with excavation, you can't do concrete till the hole is dug. You can't frame
Right.
until the concrete's done, right? There's a linear path to some of that. Once you get a house framed up, sure, you can throw plumbers, electricians, HVAC in at one time with some coordination because they have to be in the same room at the same time.
Right.
Then again, after drywall, it's like you can throw a bunch of different guys in there in different rooms, different areas to work, but you can't all be together on top of each other.
Right. You're not doing drywall and flooring at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's just not enough space.
Hey, I knew that.
Did you watch that like home extreme makeover home show
Yeah, I did.
where they build a house in 7 days?
It's not true.
It's not.
I know.
No.
Not much on TV is true.
No.
Just
Have you ever tried to explain construction terms to somebody that had absolutely no knowledge of what you're talking about?
all the time.
And how does that go?
And we do it all the time. And it can go good and bad. A lot of times you have to like be together on site, really show them, understand how it works.
Do you have to dumb it down?
You dumb it down.
For someone like me?
Terms you can't use, right? I mean, that's same with anybody's job. I don't know what you even do and how you would explain it to me.
I make things look pretty.
And dumb down.
And it's dumbed down.
There you go. Easy enough.
Yeah. What is the funniest thing you've ever heard on a job site?
Ooh, I probably can't repeat that. Job sites can be pretty dirty.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
Construction guys, I mean, it's endless of your mama jokes.
Right.
Really?
Your sister this, and your daddy that. And, oh, yeah.
You got to take me to a job site.
You should come. It's so worth it.
If all construction tools suddenly developed personalities, which tool would be the most dramatic?
Huh?
Right. Of all the tools you use, which one would be?
What kind of
have the-
question is that?
This is a crazy question.
No shit. Next.
From a graphic designer, because I don't know anything about construction.
Tools don't have personalities or anything. I don't know how to answer that.
All right. Well, then we're just going to move on because now you've let me down.
Read it one more time. Maybe it'll come to me.
I'm not.
Why not?
If all construction tools suddenly developed personalities, which tool would be the most dramatic?
Well, the hammer for sure.
Thank you.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yes, I'm looking for the hammer.
Oh, bring the hammer.
Bring the hammer.
Where's my hammer?
Okay, so I think we clearly need to explain the where's my
Yeah, where's my hammer?
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not you, Rob. It's not you, Brian. Where's my hammer? I learned this when I was young, early on a job site, an old timer. We were working together, building the house. I don't remember what town we were in. And he yells, "Where's my hammer?" And I looked around like, it's in your belt, man. Like, it's right next to you.
You were young, right?
I was in my early 20s, probably.
Okay.
Maybe even my teens at that point. I don't remember. I'm like, "Hey, Bill, it's in your pouch." Like, what do you mean you're looking for your hammer? And he's like, "No, you dummy, come here." Turns out that's code for, hey, there's a hot chick walking by. So you can't say, "Hey, check out the hot chick." You got to go, "Where's my hammer?"
And everybody looks around.
And then everybody stops what they're doing. They look up. They take in the scenery.
Right.
They take a quick, minute break.
So now,
Great. So, like, you want that to happen every day.
Jeff, you told me this at coffee, and you had said, "Where's my hammer?" when a pretty young lady walked in the door at the coffee shop, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so he explained it to me, and now, of course,
Have you ever used it since?
well, no, I think about it, but I've never.
I think you should. You should
When
carry
you're
it
there
on.
next, I'm gonna.
Well, even when I'm not. I mean, this is a
presents
secret
itself.
all men should have. Like, maybe in a coffee shop, it's a little weird to ask
Sure.
for your hammer.
Yeah.
But maybe you could,
come up with another vernacular.
yeah.
All right.
But on a construction site, everybody carries a hammer. So it's
Right.
It's perfect.
I guess also saying where's my coffee would be a little odd when it's
Right in front of you.
Yeah.
But maybe where's my creamer?
Boom.
Boom.
Well,
Coming later.
sorry.
That was a great
That
laugh
was
track.
great.
Thank you.
That was great.
Okay, so what is your most epic "Where's my hammer" moment?
Ooh. Well, there's been a lot of good ones. We did a job down in Edina,
Okay.
and it was right across from the yoga studio. We didn't get a lot of work done.
No, there's a lot of
lot
yoga
in and
pants
outs.
going in and out.
Yep. The other good one is not so much "Where's my hammer," but like when you're down there, you go take lunch around Lake Calhoun.
Oh yeah.
Check out the scenery.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think you call it Lake Calhoun anymore.
Oh, I will always call it Lake Calhoun.
Yeah.
Now it's some badabadabadoo.
You certainly can't call it that.
Yabadabadoo.
Like
Biddy Makaska.
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's never, the whole "Where's my hammer" has never turned into some like dirty movie or anything.
Do you ever play pranks on your staff or contractors?
Not really. I mean, not on job sites, mainly because of safety.
Okay.
Pranks, well, one, I mean, if you do something and they scare the hell out of them, you don't need them getting hurt. Because then in the end, I get sued because I carry the insurance for everybody.
They fall off the roof.
Yeah, or hit themselves with a hammer or cut themselves. So no. In the office, sure, we do a little bit.
Sure.
Mess around with each other.
Sure.
But not on job sites, only for that reason. Or
Okay.
like I've had to pull guys' hands, like where they nailed their hand to the wall.
Oh.
No. For
Yeah,
real?
For real. Yep. Guys have nailed their hands to the wall with a nail gun, right? Get in the way. Boom.
Oh.
Then you use your hammer and you pry it out. I've pulled staples out of guys' fingers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay. Then that leads me to the next question of emergency room visits.
For me,
For you and then maybe your contractors.
I've never driven anyone into the emergency room. I have myself have not gone there because normally what I would do is just wrap up whatever I did in some toilet paper, Kleenex,
Yeah.
put some duct tape around it. I got one on my leg from that.
Duct tape.
Pretty bad gouge. I've had guys kind of like cut their fingers with table saws and
Tips
stuff.
the fingers off.
Never cut one off, but gouged it pretty bad. They would drive themselves to the hospital. Stuff from the eyes. Guys have fallen. I fell off a ladder like 2 stories, but I was fine.
Well, Rob fell off a
I
ladder.
fell off a ladder from one story and broke my fibula.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm older than you.
Not by much.
Yeah, his bones are brittle.
They are brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need more cream in your coffee.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually putting
there you
up,
go.
I was actually putting up gutter guards, my old gutter guards when I fell. Yeah, so I was very insistent that we replace them when we put new gutters on.
Yeah.
During the-
And you didn't have to do it.
And I'd have to do it because
Exactly.
yes, learned my lesson.
Yep.
Rob and ladders don't mix.
Don't mix. No.
I don't like them anymore either. Like I do less of the physical activity these days or the physical work, and I'm not nearly as good on a ladder as I used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to walk walls like no thing. I could be 3 stories up and walk a wall and not care.
What does that mean? Walk a wall.
So like when you build your house, right, before the roof goes on, you have walls standing on the perimeter and they're only 3.5 or 5.5 inches wide. And you would just stand up there and walk from one end to the other.
I would seriously fall off. I mean, first of all, afraid of heights. We talked
not
about that in the
good for you.
previous
We wouldn't
podcast.
put you up there.
And I would start to shake and it tip over.
Not good.
Not good.
No.
Nope.
No.
If you fall to the inside, you're only falling 8 to 10 feet.
Right.
It's not so bad.
Outside a little worse.
Outside
Yeah.
could be a lot worse.
Plus, your problem if you'd be up there, you would have had a few drinks because you're afraid of heights already, so that wouldn't help with your dexterity.
Yeah. All of it would be bad.
It'd all be bad. Yeah.
Yeah, drinking on the job site, not good.
No.
Smoking pot on the job site, not
Not
good.
good. Not good.
But drinking during a podcast is good.
All day, every day.
Welcome.
Thank you.
When can't you drink? Well, other than
On a job site.
or maybe in your car.
Right. Drinking and driving, not.
Not in Minnesota.
No.
Not anywhere, Jeff.
Can't you in like southern states? Why is that so funny?
I don't think you can, Jeff.
Okay, you can be a passenger drinking then, maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you
And,
can.
and a lot of they do have the drive-through liquor stores.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I get.
Sorry to get off
I went to a
topic,
drive-through liquor store once.
You did?
In Iowa.
Did you?
Yeah. It was pretty fun, actually.
but It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It is.
They're all over South Dakota too.
Should start one.
Maybe it's just a Minnesota thing where we don't
Is
get to have,
that-
we didn't have any fun here. We have no gambling.
Yeah, but now we can at least buy alcohol on Sunday.
Well,
that was
right.
never a thing in the past.
Just don't have to drive to Wisconsin anymore. You're right.
We could start a new business venture.
I'm in.
Drive-through liquor store.
there you go.
Make pizzas in the back.
Love it.
Pizzas.
Yeah,
That's what we're going to do.
I know.
Little pizza joint.
I'm in.
Love it.
And let's get THC pizzas.
Ooh.
Never had one. But
Right. See, it's not out there yet.
I'm gonna be filthy rich.
I'm an idea man.
You are
Yes, you are.
more than just making it pretty.
That's right. So we know that timelines are important, but what motivates your crew the most on long builds besides pizza?
Donuts.
Donuts and pizza.
Donuts go a long way. So does lunch.
If you buy them lunch.
If you buy them lunch,
Yeah.
you'd be amazed
Yeah.
like what that does for guys. Mm-hmm.
Really?
They bring their same sandwich every day. Their Ritz crackers, their whatever, right? You buy guys lunch, it changes their whole outlook.
Nobody's bringing like leftovers and need a microwave to heat up.
Well, we bring microwaves everywhere. There's always a microwave on a job site.
You really? You
Oh,
bring
yeah.
you hook up a microwave?
Yeah. So like all work trailers, most work trailers have microwaves in them. So guys can warm up their lunch. If we're on a house for a year or something, we'll have a microwave kind of set up somewhere in the living room that people warm up their stuff. Fridges.
Right.
Homeowners will bring us stuff from time to time. We've had guys make us breakfast or do fish fries or grill burgers for lunch.
Oh, that's cool.
huge. Yeah.
Okay, so
It's a good
when I
little
get
family.
into getting a remodel done, I'll remember that.
Goes a long way.
food.
Just a little bit of food. Even donuts. I mean, it doesn't have to be every week. I mean, it's usually not. But on the guys that are there for long periods of time. I mean, a lot of these guys, like plumbers, they might be at your house for a day, maybe 2 days, and they're gone. They just,
Right.
They filter through one to the next.
You don't need to bring them donuts.
No. But but if I do, and then I'm in a bind or I forgot,
They
something,
remember you.
They remember me going, so like then I can persuade them to come fix or do whatever I need done.
That's right, Jeff the donut guy.
Right. That's nice of you, Jeff.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Simple guys, right? We don't need much.
Yep. I got to say too, just going through the process, and you think about this, like a lot of the stuff, you being the general contractor, a lot of people do it on their own. Like they general contract on their own.
Sure,
And they run all the crews and all that. And obviously when I hire like somebody like you to do this, obviously there's a fee I'm paying you to do your job.
Correct.
To me, 100% worth it, because you see a lot of things I don't see. That whole schedule thing. The whole schedule thing you do just still blows me away as how congested that thing is.
It's every day it's an adjustment because one thing gets off, it throws everybody else off. So you're constantly moving and adjusting. You try to build in some fluff days, but you don't know.
Right.
And you need those, and you just
Right.
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. And you're right, we do it every day, right? So we catch the little things. The little things are usually what can throw something off. People have done this themselves, and they call us halfway through going, oh my God, I'm over my head.
Please save me.
Please
And then
save me.
fix
Come
it.
help me. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not getting rich on this, right? I'm not
Yeah.
living in
Oh,
a
now
$1
you've
million
ruined my
money.
whole thought here. I want to
No,
get
the
into
THC
construction.
pizza, that's what you're going to get into.
THC pizza.
It's not construction, right?
Yeah, THC pizza.
I love my job because it's a variety. I meet different people every day. I go to different places every day. I build something new. I create, right? That's what I love.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me a ton of money.
Right.
I mean,
So you're an
Rob, you
And,
want to give me an extra 30 grand? Like,
No, not so much.
yeah. I
so
figured.
you're an
Nobody
artist.
does.
You're an artist like me.
I am an artist.
You just deal with 3D.
Yeah. You don't you at all? You're all 2D.
I'm 2D.
Yeah. I'm 3D.
Yes, you are. I got another question here for you. How often does it happen that your measurements are a little bit off, resulting in a teardown? Does that happen often?
What do you mean tear down?
Well, okay, so you're off by a half an inch in a room. The walls don't line up. What do?
Just shim it.
You shim it.
Or you could, some people will say, I'll use a Dutchman. It's a little trick of the trade.
What's a Dutchman?
Well, it's a little shim. It's basically a shim. Different term for a shim.
Okay.
There's always ways. No house is perfectly flat, plumb, or level.
Correct.
Everything, if you look down a wall, a floor, there are imperfections everywhere, right? This is not a car being made in a factory. Everything has little imperfections. We try to minimize those. We try to hide them. Part of that is just lighting, and then textures and finishes all make a difference.
Right.
But
So when I was putting in my wall molding in my family room, and I
Yep.
measured the walls from the floor to ceiling, each side of the room, so the outside wall to the interior, was a half inch off.
yep, totally normal. And nobody would know that unless you're doing it. So
It
that's the
drove
same.
me nuts because we need to have the molding exactly perfect, which of course you want. You want it to look nice.
And there are ways to get that by adjusting your cutting. Like they say, what? Measure twice, cut once.
I always measure once, cut 3 times.
Sorry.
I'm always doing
call,
it wrong.
Call me next time. Even the lumber you buy isn't the same width. right?
Really?
Like a 2x4 can be anywhere from 3 1/4 to 3 3/4 inch thick.
That is really throwing me off here. How am I
So-
supposed to know what I'm buying?
Well,
that's
you
just-
need to buy lumber first, and then
I occasionally buy lumber.
There's ways to fudge it all, shimming it, pulling this and that.
I heard
In
it's
the
called
end,
a
you want-
Dutchman.
There's a Dutchman. Yep. It's one of my favorites. It doesn't really fly though. You can't really use it very often.
Okay.
You try to exceed, and again, if you measure twice, cut once, you don't need to use the Dutchman. So
Maybe I should get into that.
you should. So Rob hired me for his home projects.
Yes, he did.
Which is great and great to work with Rob. But what about you? Why don't you hire me?
I want to hire you, but alas, I do my projects myself. That's why I cut 3 times
Because you're also an artist.
because I'm an artist.
I was over giving you some opinions once.
Yeah, we have not moved 1 inch on that opinion yet.
Didn't you have a wall tore out when I was there?
Oh yeah, I tore it out.
And what does it look like now?
It's beautiful.
Is it still like a hole in the wall?
Nope, I did all the...
you mudded it and
I
closed
mudded
it
it
up.
and taped it, and I scraped my ceilings, and you can't tell. And I spend hours and hours, days, weeks, months redoing that ceiling over and over.
but now it's perfect.
Yep, until now the door swung open and knocked another hole in the wall.
Son of a bitch.
Exactly. And no, before you ask, we haven't put the flooring down yet because we can't decide on the color.
Ooh. Do you want some hand-me-downs? They're
Won't
called,
match the floor I already have, so then no.
my wife calls my things I bring home the Hoxie hand-me-downs.
Hoxie hand-me-downs.
Like I once even brought her home a bidet.
Did you install the bidet?
It's 100% installed in our master bathroom. Yes.
And?
It's fantastic. Once you try it, you never go back. Matt Minster got me on those.
He did.
He was the one that mentioned it many years ago.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, once you have one.
Okay. I'm kind of intrigued now.
So maybe you got to do your bathroom next.
I just can't figure out. I mean, obviously I haven't used one, but I just don't know. I don't know.
You just got to play around with it, Brian.
Okay. I'll be sure to
Next
find
time
a bidet.
next time I get one, I'll bring it over to you.
I think Brian has a problem with water shooting in places he's not comfortable with.
Ooh. All right. So I have one last question for you. What is the one piece of advice you'd give to someone wanting to get into construction?
One, like as an occupation.
Yes. I'm talking to all the younger people out there.
It's an amazing job. You can make a ton of money. Come work for me. How about that?
Oh, I like that.
Like it.
Our
Like
industry is aging quickly.
Yes.
Everybody's 50 plus. We need young people, definitely. The beauty of our industry is you work your 8-hour day and you go home and you forget about it. Now, as the owner, you don't because people call you in the evening. But if you're working construction, work 8 hours, go home, do your thing, come back.
Is it really? It just you cut off at 8? In my head, I kept thinking that they work all the time.
It depends on the occupation and the trade. Some guys will work longer in the summer because they're not working winters, but for the most part, guys are 8. Maybe you're 9. It's more flexible maybe than it used to be because we're looking for more people to get into the trades.
Sure.
So,
because here's your plug for the trades.
that was my plug.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, I just think as a society, we spent so much time focusing on college education that the trades got put to the wayside. And honestly, that's where it's at now, is the trades. I mean, you can make bank.
You can. I mean, we will pay carpenters over $100,000 a year, right? They work 8-hour days, 40 hours a week.
Yep.
No overtime. You can get overtime if you want it, but you can make good money. You got to be physical, right? You're not sitting at a desk.
You
You're
had
not-
me there at 100,000 until you said I had to be physical.
Well, you can stand on your feet for 8 hours, can't you?
God, no.
Come on, Brian. Come on.
I can stand on my feet for like 15 minutes, then I got to sit down.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were 20, you probably could.
When you're 20,
Oh,
right?
I
You're,
was dancing through the aisles.
Right. But at pushing 60, that's a different story.
isn't there? Don't.
Hey.
How do you? No.
push.
How do you? How do you sit inside all day and not be outside where it's beautiful? I mean, that's the beauty of our job is we're outside, and sometimes we're working on the lake. You take your lunch break on a dock,
Yeah.
soaking
no.
in the sun, like it's fantastic.
I'm
No,
a cave dweller. I live in a cave. I work in a cave. I never leave my cave.
you have a good complexion, though. You have a little bit of sun going on in there.
Jeff.
It's all those weekends at the cabin.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's all we got for questions for you. Did you have fun?
I had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
That was painless.
Painless.
I mean, I didn't know what you guys were going to come up with.
Well, hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But if you had as much fun as we have, please follow us on the socials at and One More Thing Pod on Facebook and Instagram.
Also, please leave us a comment or send us an email at onemorethinkpod@gmail.com. And that's all, folks. Oh, and one more thing. If you are building or remodeling in the Minneapolis area, consider giving Hoxie Homes a try. Great company, great guy.
They're the best.
They're the best. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, Jeff, I think about building a big tree house.
Make sure and bring your hammer.